Welcome everybody. In this video we are going to be covering the basics of writing to a file. There are two methods for saving data to a file, and those are writing and appending. Writing to a file will write that byte of data, whatever it is, to that file. So that means if there was anything there before, like data, text, image like information, it is going to be gone. But if you use append mode, then you will basically add to whatever is previously there. So I am going to be showing both methods, but first in this video I will tell about writing to files. Let's start with create a new file. If we want to open file, first we should use open method, and then we should give name for this file. The name is test.txt. And then if you want to write down in the file, we should use lowercase w, mean write mode. If you don't want to create this test.txt into the current project, you can want to create this file into some folder on your computer. So let's say I want to create this file inside my C directory, and then I can copy this directory, test here. I should change slash site, yes, slash site, and add one more slash. Then it will create in directory which I passed it. Let's check it. As you can see, it was created. Okay, let's continue. Now you can see over here in our directory that we don't have a test.txt yet. The important thing is coming. If the file doesn't exist already here, then this will go ahead and create it now. But if the file does already exist, then it will overwrite it. So be careful if you are writing to a file that already exists. If you don't want to overwrite a file, then you can use a lowercase a for appending to the file. But we are going to go ahead and overwrite this file if it exists, so I am changing with W. So first of all, I am running this Python code, and you can see that it created test.txt. I'm sorry, I should delete it there because he created in the directory, but I want to create here. I'm running it, and as you can see, the test.txt created here. So that means I didn't actually have to write anything to the file in order to create it. Just using the open with the write mode will create the file. Now we want to write to this file, then we will use write method, of course. How can we use? I will show you now. First, we write our file name, that's new file, and after that we use dots, and then all methods are coming ahead, all functions. We will use write method. Now if I put here something, for example hello, which will go in test.txt, and after that the next thing that we want to do is new file.class. It is really important to remember to close it. Otherwise, it will hang open for a while and it could cause problems with your scripts. But otherwise, it is just going to be big nuisance because you won't be able to really further save any data basically. So if either you or your script is going to start having some trouble, you always want to close. After writing this code, we run it. It will go in the test.txt file. Let me just split the screen. So you can see that we wrote hello to our file. Now if I go back here and do change about text to this file, for example Python is the best, of course. Then if I run this code and go back to the file, you can see that it deleted hello and replace it Java is the best text. Sorry, Python is the best text every time. And also, if I can write here Java is the best. It will change it every time. It will overwrite the text. Now you can actually use seek method when writing files. Also to set the position back to the beginning of the file. And we can do this if I go back here and I have to write new file dot seek 0 and add one more text in the txt. New file write what should we write? For example, okay, Python is the best, again and again. Now if I run this, then you can see that the second test overrode the first one. So seek can get a little confusing for file because it doesn't overwrite everything, only what it needs to overwrite. So for example, if instead of writing the same thing twice, if I have to do a new file.seek at the beginning and write out coding as my second one there, and now if I run that and go back to file, then you can see that coding only overrides Python and it didn't delete the rest of the content. Okay, I am continuing. Now I want to use a for loop to print 10 lines into this test.txt file. So I'm going to use for loop and I'm going to just write for I in range. Let's say the range is 10. Yeah, is 10. And then we will call our write function using this new file. And then what I want to write here, let's say this is line number modulus d and x n for sorting down. And when you use this modulus symbol, you should give some value here, for example I. Then this modulus d will be replaced by this I. So let's run this code. And now you will see that this code first overwrote, and after that print this line number 0, this is line number 1, etc. Because the range starts from 0. Now you might have already saw that whenever I run the code, this test.txt file is overwritten every time. If we don't want to this happen, what we can do is we can use append mode, of course. Let's replace w mode with a mode, mean append mode. Now okay, and you can see this is previous content of the test.txt file. I'm running it, and now when I run this code, you will see this is previous code, and the new content is appended to the same file. Yeah, you'll see that. Let's continue. The next thing is copy the file to other file. First, we should open text.txt in read mode. After that, we create a new file, copy, and name is testcopy.txt, and also we are opening this in write mode. After that, we want to copy, so we should open for with new file. In new file we will get line by line, and after that we should use new file copy with write methods and put the new files line by line and run it. As you can see, the file was created, and I am opening it, and information copied. If I change this copy.txt file mode with append mode, what will happen? And run it. You can see that it was appended. Look, it wrote text.txt twice. Okay, and if I return this mode again, W mean write mode, it returned, and I'm running this, it returned test.txt copy file. It wrote only twice, same test.txt. You see that. Okay, so I think that's going to do it for this video. There is a lot more that we could look at with files, but I hope that this was a good introduction into working with files and some of the useful things that we can do with them. Thank you all for watching. See you later.